Hello, and welcome to English 204, Introduction to Professional Writing. I'm Dr. Tirrell, and I'll be your instructor this semester. The purpose of this video is to give you an introduction to the course website, which contains information about course policies, assignments, and due dates. This is a hybrid section of 204, which means that ordinarily we'll have one course meeting per week in our classroom. For us, that will occur on Tuesdays from 9:30 to 10:45 in Morton Hall, room 204. We'll also have one course meeting that takes place online, encompassing tasks you'll accomplish independently or occasionally synchronous interactions. Because of this, the course website is absolutely crucial. So after watching this video, make sure you familiarize yourself with it thoroughly. The URL appears on this slide and in the information embedded below this video. You also should have received an email from me with it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So this is the course website. Just a word about consistent site features. You can see we've got the navigation tabs across the top here: home, syllabus, assignments, calendar, and notes. We'll have at least one other added later in the semester with grades. Over here on the right, we've got a sidebar with course information that gives you the where and when. Right? Tuesdays, 9:30 to 10:45 in Morton 204. Thursdays is our online period. And then we've also got instructor information. It tells you who I am, gives you my email address, and then provides my office, which is Morton 161, and my hours, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. You can also contact me by email or by scheduling an appointment. Okay, so this is the home page. I will put updates and news you should know on this page throughout the semester. There won't probably be a ton of those updates, generally a handful or so throughout the semester, but any changes I'll go ahead and post here as well. The syllabus, you know what that is. It's very important. You'll want to read through it thoroughly, both because these are the policies that you will abide by as a member of the course, but also you're going to be completing a course contract that indicates that you've read and understood and will abide by these policies. We're not going to go over that right now in this video because you can read these on your own, but do make sure to go through these because they are important. I mean, they give you information about grading, about attendance and punctuality and all that kind of thing. So do read these. One thing to point out, we do have a course textbook, so you want to make sure you get that. We need it right away. You know, we'll be using it immediately. That's also why I let you know via email and I post it. Well, this course doesn't use Blackboard, but I do post, you need this book just in case people check in advance. The text is The Essentials of Technical Communication. It's the 3rd edition. It's by Thibault and Draga. You can get it at the course bookstore. They've got copies. You can get it through Amazon. You can get an electronic version through services. You can rent it from someplace like Chegg. I don't really care. You just need to get it. You need to get it immediately because we use it right away. There are other materials we'll look at, but they're all going to be linked on the course website. So the only thing you need to obtain is our course textbook. So that's the syllabus. Do make sure you read this. It is important, and you will sign a contract indicating that you will abide by the policies it contains. The assignments section, we've got 3 major course projects. Only one of them is an active link right now because we go one at a time. There is information here about engagement assignments. Those are small assignments we'll do to keep the course moving forward. That includes things like in-class activities and also out-of-class short work. Excuse me. Mostly those are worth just a couple of points, but collectively they constitute 5% of your overall course grade. So you don't want to let those slip thinking they're just, little things. That can be the difference in a letter grade. If you're on the cusp. We do use the plus minus here, so 5%, it does make a difference. Reading responses, those are things that are associated with reading material, almost always the course textbook, and they take the form of either brief in-class quizzes or longer explication responses that you'll do outside of class. And that matches up with, if it's a chapter that we have to have read for an in-class period, we'll be taking a quiz. If it's for an out-of-class period, you'll be doing a longer explication. Collectively, these constitute 20% of your overall course grade, so that's a big chunk. You want to make sure you're keeping up with those, both the in-class quizzes and the out-of-class longer responses. Our major projects here, we're not going to really go over this because we'll be doing that, in a little bit further in the class. But this can give you sort of the structure of how these breakdowns look. You've got the overall summary here, tells you what we're going to be doing and the skills you're going to be using and that kind of stuff. And then the deliverables, what you're actually going to submit. And you can see this breaks down what you're going to turn in, how much it counts in terms of the overall project grade. These parts will be linked as we move forward. Right now, only a few of them are linked. These others get linked as we go. I mention that because I'm not just going to give you this and say, go do it. We move stage by stage as a class. So that's the assignments page. The calendar, this is probably the most important page, certainly in terms of the frequency of use. I mean, basically, because this is a hybrid class, you're going to be working a lot independently. You're going to be responsible for your own sort of management. That means you're going to be following the calendar just step by step as we go. The whole semester is plotted here. It is subject to change, and there will be some tweaks as we go. It's inevitable. Generally not big things, but little things come up and changes have to be made. But really all you have to do as a student is just follow along with this calendar, do what's linked there, read the information that's linked. As long as you follow along with this, you're golden. Everything we do is attached here. If you miss a class, you don't need to speculate about what was covered because it's all right here. As you can see, and as this points out, rows are color-coded. It just sort of helps us see, what's going on and what kind of meeting that is. So gray rows for us, those are online periods. Those are Thursdays, like the 18th. That's our first thing because, the semester starts on a Wednesday. And then white rows are in-class periods or Tuesdays. And then you can kind of see how this goes, right? White, gray, because that's Tuesday, Thursday, and so forth. Now there are 3 columns on this page. The date, that's pretty self-explanatory. This middle one shows what's due at the beginning of class, whether it's an in-class period or an out-of-class one. So, for example, here on the 23rd, that's going to be an in-class period for us. You need to print inside and sign the course contract. It's linked. That indicates that you've read the policies on the syllabus and you're going to abide by them. You need to read the first chapter of our book. That means you need to have it. That's the Essentials Chapter 1. And you need to read the Corporate Communication Project information. You do that before class. Then during class, here in the agenda column, we're going to introduce the course and the subject matter. We're going to do our first quiz, right? That's reading response 1, and that's in class, so we know it's a quiz. It's going to connect with the first chapter there. We're going to get a look at our first project, and then we're going to do a couple of activities related to that first project. Analyzing a example corporate crisis, and then we're also going to be doing this intention document. We do those before each project. It sort of stipulates what you intend to get out of this project, what skills you're going to be using, how that's going to be useful in the future, that kind of stuff. Moving forward, if you see Thursday, that's an online period for us. So due at 9:30, we want to have read both of these chapters, 2 and 3. And then the agenda is to complete reading response 2 and 3, which connect with those chapters. As the calendar says, unless otherwise indicated, agenda items scheduled for online periods are due before midnight of the same day. So we know that these are going to be due by midnight of the 25th. So you read these by 9:30, and then you've got the rest of the day until midnight to complete these. Going forward, you can see how this works. By Tuesday the 30th, you want to read this chapter, and you can see we moved to 8. We're not just going 1, 2, 3, 4. It's because these different chapters are about specific topics. You want to complete this report, which we'll talk about. And then in class, we're going to be doing these things. Then on the 1st, which is another online period for us, we're going to be reading this linked material about press releases, right? There are different sources here. And then you're going to be completing a press release activity that'll be linked, and you're going to do that before midnight. That's the gist of how things work. It's easy, it's self-explanatory. By the first couple of meetings, you'll understand how this works. And it is important because this is a hybrid section. There's just more of an onus on you to do things independently. I'm not going to be seeing you guys twice a week to tell you, make sure you're doing this and here's the homework. You need to follow the calendar and make sure that you're maintaining your own progress. So that's the calendar. I did want to show you kind of briefly. This first thing, you can see, for today's period, we're watching this course introduction video before midnight. You're doing that right now, so congratulations. This other thing, submit personal introductions post. We know we need to do that by midnight of the 18th. Let's take a look at that. The reason why we're looking at this is so that I know that you guys are familiar with this format. It's actually going to look slightly different. The visual is going to be slightly different because this is the older version and I'm going to update that. So don't be thrown by that. It's the same content. It's just it's going to look slightly. It's going to have a blue, a green background. This is the gist of how these work. So I want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with this. This also is our first engagement assignment grade. That thing that collectively is 5% of our overall course grade is our first one. It's sort of an example of that kind of stuff. The other thing is, you can see some of these are sort of longer prompts, like introduction, provide a few sentences about yourself, including your major, year, and personal interests, and that kind of thing. So that's a few sentences. I really encourage you not just to type here and then submit. The reason why is something could happen. Your computer could freeze. The power could blitz, which happens here on campus once a semester. It always happens once. You could click submit and it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning, right? There could always be problems. So what I encourage you to do is to always compose in a separate program and save as you go. So an example would be something like Word, right? So this first prompt, provide a few sentences about yourself. So, here's some stuff about me, right? I'd go ahead and compose that and then just save and, keep it there. That way, if there's ever any problem, it's no issue. You just have to copy and paste, right? Definitions, a few sentences about your definition of professional writing and identify a few examples. So, here's what. Oops. Right? Compose in a separate program and then just copy and paste it over. These prompts with red stars, that means it won't let you submit unless you complete those. So it'll tell you, right? You need to do these things. That's good because it keeps you from accidentally submitting when you don't mean to, right? You can't submit without putting your name there. So there's never going to be an issue where you've turned something in without your name on it. You can't skip these because it makes you do that. So that's the gist of how this works. I'm just going to provide some dummy text here. Just so I can show you when you submit what it looks like. It tells you it's been recorded. That means things are good. For some of these forms, you will be able to edit. I'll let you do that. For others, I won't. If it's turned in and if it's past the deadline, you can't edit it. But some of them you can. That's the gist of how this works. You do want to go ahead and make sure you turn that in. You submit that form. That's all you have to do before midnight. So after watching this video, just go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's the gist of the calendar page. We do have the notes tab up here. Right now it's empty because those are for, that tab is for course notes. We haven't really, started our conversation, so there's nothing there. Also, as I mentioned, there will be at least one other tab, which is the grades tab. I don't add that until we actually start having grades. Okay, that's the gist of the course website. You can see we've got the consistent features up here, the navigation tabs, and then the consistent course and instructor information. And then we've got the different sections, right? The homepage where I will post updates, the syllabus, which you do need to read through, got all the course policies, assignments where you can read about the different things that you'll be completing for this course. And then the calendar, which is something you should follow along with all the time. Everything we'll do is right there on the calendar. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Again, welcome to the course. I teach this quite a bit. I'm excited about it. The principles you pick up and you develop in this course, they're going to help you no matter what your field is. A lot of folks in 204 are coming from all over the university. It's not just for professional writing majors. That is a major here, but we also get folks from all over. Probably, if you're not a professional writing major, your advisor may have said this would be a good course for you. The reason why is this course will help you no matter what you're doing. It may not help you right away. You may not sort of see the utility immediately, but at some point in the future, you'll realize, oh, this is stuff I was doing then. I can almost guarantee. The reason why I can say that is because everybody writes, everybody communicates. Even hermits, you're still affected by the outside world. What underpins this course is rhetoric. So what you're going to be practicing is how to take apart a situation and how to respond to achieve the goals that you want. That is 99%, I can guarantee that's going to help you no matter what you're doing. This is a hybrid section. What that means is there's a little bit more of an onus on you to be personally invested in the class and to take responsibility for your own success. You're allowed to do poorly. If you don't engage with the course, you will do poorly. That's your choice. If you want to succeed, follow along with the course, engage with the material, and then talk to me. I mean, my job as the instructor is to help you, but it's a two-way street. The person who should be the most invested in your success is you. I should be second most, but I will do everything I can to help you. But that means you have to, work with me. You have to come to office hours. You have to ask me questions. You have to do the material. Those are the things that will raise the probability of success in this course. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff independently, but I'm always there either by email or in class to help. I hope you find this course challenging and rewarding. And I'm looking forward to the semester. I hope you are too. I won't see you guys until the 23rd, so you're kind of watching this and going over this stuff on your own. But if you want to shoot me any questions, you can do that by email or come by office hours or whatever. Okay, I will see you guys on the 23rd. And I'm looking forward to the course. See ya.